Hello everyone, ex-Bethelite here. It's 2018, a whole new year, and we need to start addressing the elephants in the room. We deal with videos that have to do with a wide range of topics, but we don't want to avoid the elephants in the room, the topics that are right there in our faces, because we're worried about being nice, essentially. Sometimes people need to hear the truth, and the truth may be what wakes them up. I'm not an angry person. That's not what motivates my video. I've got a year's worth of videos that people could look at and verify, okay, yeah, no, he's not angry in most of these videos. It's 2018. We just need to address the elephants in the room. Elders, Jehovah's Witnesses have a leadership group that has got to be the worst leadership group in a religion on the face of the planet, and you can go outside of Christianity. They have got to have the worst group of leadership on earth. You got a bunch of people that have been, given a title in the Watchtower organization, and these people are a bunch of attention whores. These are people that are there just for the title, just to get on stage in front of a bunch of people. That's their entire motivation. You got a bunch of child molesters. The whole Australia had to deal with this situation, and that's not the only place. There's lawsuits that's up in the millions all over the place. So you have attention whores. You have child molesters. I cannot count the number of people, the women that I've spoken to, who were abused, were beaten, were hit by their husband, who was an elder. And then you have a bunch of essentially simpletons. You have people who are just Watchtower yes men, and they would be impressed if Watchtower told them that the moon was made out of cheese. They would go around spreading that because they are just unintelligent. You literally have people, and there is nothing wrong with a particular profession. That's not what I'm saying here. It's not, if you work, wherever you work is a job, it is necessary, it needs to be done. Having that job, there's nothing wrong with it, but it does not qualify you to be able to direct people's lives. If you work at Walmart, how on earth does that equate to you being an elder in some church somewhere? How do you get, I work at Walmart, and then on Sundays I influence people's religious lives? Where do they do that at? They do it at Watchtower. If you are an accountant and you're good with numbers and you work with numbers essentially, and that's what you went to school for, how does that equate to, I am now about to get on a platform and lecture people about Christianity, and they know full well they have not stepped foot inside of an actual seminary or an actual religious training course at all. The Theocratic Ministry School does not cover the requirements needed to have a position, a higher position in any church, anywhere. They tell you, and this is a literal saying, they tell you that you never graduate from the theocratic ministry school. So essentially they're in a roundabout way telling you that, yeah, you've been a part of the theocratic ministry school since you were a child, and now you're an adult, and you're still essentially in the theocratic ministry school. Why? Not because there's always more to learn, which is what they try to tell you. That's a lie. The reason why you don't graduate is because a theocratic ministry school, quote unquote, that they have changed the name of, is not accredited. You can't graduate from it. You can't graduate from the theocratic ministry school, which they've changed the name of. You can't graduate and get any kind of certificate from that, or any kind of a accredited degree from that, any more than you can come into my basement and have me give you a degree in anything. So they have no official training at all. You can't become a doctor by working in a doctor's office for a period of time. I can't be a receptionist in a doctor's office and then, since I've been there for 10 years, become a doctor now. No, I have to go through training because a doctor deals with people's lives. It's an important thing, and it requires training, accredited training, not some essentially a quack, a person that ought not be practicing medicine. Elders are all a bunch of quacks. Literally. Just tell the truth. They're a bunch of quacks. None of them are qualified to be doing what they're doing. They just been there for a while. An elder literally told me that there's no real difference between a ministerial servant and an elder. One just tends to have a little bit more age than the other, which is true. Because there isn't anything an elder can do that a ministerial servant can't do. And a servant can be pretty young. So let's say the Watchtower study. You're dealing with a lesson wherein a 16-year-old child or younger can answer all those questions. You're dealing with a lesson that is designed in such a way that a child could go through and underline where all those answers are and read them back to them verbatim. A 16-year-old could go and conduct a Watchtower study. They're not really studying. They're just rereading the answer that is right there in the paragraph. That does not take any kind of qualification whatsoever. A lot of elders aren't even good examples of husbands and fathers. So why are they in a position to tell anybody else the way that they should and should not be conducting themselves? You got people that are in these elders meetings or the judicial hearings, and they're being told that they essentially can't talk to their family anymore. Well, there's a problem with that, because how many times does brother such and such elder, how many times has he been divorced? You know, how many times has he been arrested? Do you even know where your kids are? Like, you have got the worst examples of men, period, up on the platform on Sundays at Kingdom Halls of Jehovah's Witnesses. If you don't believe me, check for yourself. This is a Jehovah's Witness thing where you go up to someone that has kids. Their kids may be older, and you ask them, so how is your son doing? How is your daughter doing? And the elder will tell you, oh, they're doing okay, they're doing fine, knowing he has not spoken to his own family in a decade. And he knows, those elders know that there's no excuse for that. So they just lie to you and speak to you as if they know how their relatives are doing. I know this for a fact because it's happened to me. Such and such told me you're doing well. I spoke to him in about 13 years. What do you mean he told you I was doing well? He didn't even know I was alive. So you're dealing with really some of the worst examples of people there are. I talked to one elder, and it's good if you turn your life around from a life of crime to no longer doing crime. That's good. But I've spoken to elders who were out in the street. They grew up in the street. They grew up dealing with drugs. They grew up dealing with guns. I talked to one who got shot. And because it was such a dramatic event that he got shot, he essentially, got out of the street life because of that. And then joined the religion that he knew about, which was Jehovah's Witnesses. And he's now an elder. Now, here's the problem with that. Not only do you have someone whose life experience is not one that is a good example. I don't need to be in the streets to be able to tell someone, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that if you have any other options. So it's not that you need people from the streets to be able to tell people, yeah, don't go rob. You have people who have no seminary teaching. They have nothing with which to show anyone that they have any qualifications to be teaching anybody. And then you look at their life and, okay, you lived in you were in the streets. So how on earth does being in the streets and then not going to any kind of seminary whatsoever equate to being an elder in some kind of a religion? Watchtower has got the lowest standards for religious teachers. Watchtower has got the lowest standards there are. I don't know of too many religions outside of cults that just don't have any standards, because they'll take whoever comes off the street and make them an elder. The truth of the matter is that if you took those elders away from that particular congregation, and I don't mean compare them to someone who's never read a Bible before. I mean compare them, put them in a church where you have got people that have had actual religious training. They've got like their masters in divinity school. And you now have someone who is not qualified to hold this person's clipboard. That's the majority of the elders. That's all the elders in the entire Jehovah's Witness organization, is a group of people that aren't even qualified to announce another actually qualified person that works at a different church. We need to really deal with these sorts of issues. We can't really just overlook the fact that you got men who, in and of themselves, the apostles were fishermen. The apostles had various jobs and things of that sort, but they learned under Jesus Christ. That has got to trump any theological school there is. They got the best education to be able to then go and lead others. And then others learned and studied under the apostles, people who were the most qualified people that have ever walked the earth to be able to teach scripture, essentially, to be able to teach and guide others. They were qualified. Elders and Jehovah's Witnesses, yeah, you got people that are the equivalent of fishermen working in a factory or something to that effect. But where's the theological training that the apostles got, that the first century Christians had? These people just been in the Kingdom Hall for a while. They didn't have any training. The reason why they know how to conduct a watchtower study is because their butts were in a seat and they sat and watched it done for a long time. They haven't had any kind of theological training. The reason why they can conduct most of the meetings is because their behinds was in a chair and they sat and watched someone do it, and they parrot that. A parrot can repeat what you say. It can literally repeat what you say, but that parrot doesn't know what it means. The elder's been sitting in a seat while he was a ministerial servant or something to that effect, watching somebody do something, and now he's doing it. That's literally what it is. They're not knowledgeable on scripture necessarily. They've just seen it done a long time, and they've repeated the same stuff over and over. If they had any kind of sense whatsoever, how are they then in a cult? If they had any sense, a lot of these elders, especially the older ones, were there in 1975. They saw watchtowers say that the end was coming in 75. And then they saw it not happen. And then they are still there. Why? Because they're attention whores. They care less if it's the truth or not. They just know that's the only place where they're going to get a position of authority is somewhere that has no real standards for elders. That's how you got all these people that are child molesters and touching little kids and pedophiles, and that's how you get all these people. Now, you have other religious groups that have this problem also. However, at least they can say, we put this person through all this training. We made this person go through all these qualifications. We didn't just grab people off the street. So, yes, it's difficult to eliminate the problem as a whole for most religious organizations, because even if they put you through religious training, you still got some sick people that make it through that training. Jehovah's Witnesses is grabbing people off the street, and all you got to do is just be in the hall for a while, and now you're in leadership. That's why you got all these Jehovah's Witness pedophiles and wife beaters and people who are just horrible parents in general. I mean, literally, I don't think I've spoken to my stepdad. Let's see. Let's be realistic here. Yeah, probably in 3-4 years or something like that. I don't know. Ran into him once at the store while I was doing some grocery shopping and bumped into him there. But These are the people who are on a platform telling everybody how to conduct the family. Is there any question that we have anymore as to why Jehovah's Witness families are screwed up? Look at who's telling you how to conduct yourself in a family. It's a bunch of people that screwed up their families. It's a bunch of people that's been divorced a billion times. It's a bunch of people that couldn't keep their thing in their pants. And how many of the elders been divorced a bunch of times and been reproved in their own religion or disfellowshipped in their own religion because they couldn't even keep it in their pants? And now, because they just been there for a long time and Watchtower needs people, they're elders. This is the honest truth. We need to deal with the honest truth. These people are deadbeats and they're walking around calling themselves elders. I can't call myself a doctor. I don't care how long I've been in a doctor's office. I could have had a 3-hour wait in a waiting room in a doctor's office. That don't make me a doctor. I can't just go around calling myself a doctor. You can't go around calling yourself an elder and you have no theological training whatsoever. The only thing you've been through is something that they used to call a school, and that school can't give you a certificate because it's not accredited. They'd probably get sued for quackery if they gave an elder some kind of a certificate, plaque, or anything. These people have nothing. They can't pull out any kind of sheet of paper to show you they've been anywhere doing anything that qualifies them. A lot of them are, like I said, simpletons. Watchtower could tell them anything and they believe it. I know from a personal experience that there are people that are just super impressed with anything Watchtower says. You have to have a bunch of idiots to start putting jw.org on the side of every building. Watchtower came up with a website and people got so darn impressed with anything Watchtower does, it's on the side of every building. That's when you think about it, it's kind of stupid because people aren't just driving past buildings looking up websites. You're putting it all over the building. The reason for that is A, they told you to do it, and you do anything Watchtower told you to do, but you're super impressed by the smallest things. You're super impressed by the smallest things because you're a simpleton. You have no business even being in the position you're in. That's why you're so impressed with anything Watchtower does and says. You're supposed to be impressed because you're supposed to be in a seat somewhere, not leading anybody. Comment down below, let me know where I'm wrong. And I'm not saying that you don't have people with good intentions, or essentially you don't have anybody that's nice. Some of them are nice people and some of them have good intentions. I'm not going to stand here and say that I don't know anyone that was a good parent. I knew some elders, there wasn't a lot of them, but I knew some elders that kept up with their family. And even in the Bible, there's no excuse to not check on someone's physical well-being. I don't care that they don't go to your church. There's nothing in the Bible that says you no longer check on the physical well-being of your family. Like you don't know if they're alive or not. There's nothing in the Bible that says that. The only people on earth, I'm telling you, wake up. The only people on earth that don't check on even the physical well-being of their own family are the sorriest excuses for men on the planet, and those are the people who are elders. Stop me where I'm not telling the truth. Comment down below. I'm telling you the whole ugly. It's ugly, but it's the truth. But yeah, you have people with good intentions, and you have some people that are nice people, but a large percent of them are just attention whores. They're quacks. And they're sorry excuse for human beings because they don't even know if their family is alive or dead or not. And you've heard the saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Because you have good intentions does not make up for the fact that you have no qualification to be doing what you're doing. If you're a quote unquote self-proclaimed elder, because Watchtower gave you that title. 937-789-4029, ex-Bethelite, signing out. Comment down below. I welcome criticism. I welcome someone to challenge me and tell me where I'm wrong. So this is ex-Wallkill Bethelite signing out.